Hello, everyone. Today we have a very, very, very special guest, Aelicia Watson, also affectionately known as Chocolate. Hello.
Oh, hi, Brent.
Hey, I'm so glad you could join us. You always bring a smile to my face.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I love podcasts, so thank you.
Well, super honored that you accepted this invitation so that everyone can meet Chocolate.
Yes. How are you today?
I'm doing well. The office is closed, but I'm working.
Of course, of course. We got it. We go nonstop sometimes. I understand. Yep.
Today.
You know what? I'm doing pretty good. The office is closed too, and so I'm working from home, but I am working as well. So, yeah, just, trying to get things wrapped up before the end of the year.
Right, we're wrapping up 2022.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start with how we met, how I know you, and then ask you a bunch of questions.
Okay. I got a bunch of answers.
So we met in 2017 at a mutual friend's Christmas party.
Yeah.
Been going strong ever since then, 4 years.
Man, it's so amazing. So amazing. Like, it's like what they say, time flies when you're having fun. And we've been having some fun. So yeah.
Yeah. So can you let us know a little bit about your background, where you started, where you're from, all of that stuff?
Yeah. So again, like you said, I'm Aelicia Watson, affectionately known as Chocolate. And I'll tell you why people call me Chocolate once we get down into the nitty-gritty. But friends can call me Chocolate. And I like to jokingly say Chocolate is not my stripper name. I've never been a stripper before. But I am a Dallas native. I was born and raised here in Dallas. My parents divorced when I was 2, and then I moved to Southern California, Inglewood, Watts. And then I got back to Dallas when I was about 10 and a half. I've been back over 20 plus years now. I am 41 and I'm single. Make sure that I put that out there. Bingo, ready to mingle. I have one grown daughter, empty nester, that I had when I was 14 years old, and who I made sure to change the trajectory of her life by, breaking that cycle of generational teen pregnancy and sending her to college and all the things. And yeah, and so now I'm making boss moves in the city of Dallas, specifically South Dallas. And I get the honor and the privilege of being the founder and executive director, CEO of Redeemed Women, a 501c3 nonprofit here in Dallas. And I also am an author and public speaker. I also am a business coach, and then I do a host of many other things on the side. I call it the chocolate effect. So yeah, so this is a little bit about me, and let's see how I got started. You know, what I would like to say, Natalie, I really got started just from having amazing people in my life that believed in me. I would say people like you. But I graduated high school at 17, and then I went to school for early childhood education. I started working at the Y. The Y sent me to school when I turned 18, and I did early childhood education for about 10 years, getting my CDA because of the Y sent me to school. And that was fine, but as a single mother, I was like, okay, I cannot have a be a single mom raising a kid and working childcare for my whole entire life. But it was a great start because I got free daycare. So I was able to capitalize off of that after having a baby at 14 years old. I then graduated from early childhood education and got into transportation and logistics. I started in a warehouse making $7 an hour, pulling a pallet jack, driving a forklift. Worked my way up into upper management, and then became a dispatch manager in transportation. I did that for about 9.5 years. Um, and then life took a turn. Life took a turn. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2013, which I had cancer as a child. So I've actually had cancer 3 times. Let me back up a little bit. I had bone cancer twice in my left leg as a child, and not related, but I had breast cancer in my left breast as an adult. But because I was raised in foster care a little bit, I have no genetics to know if they were related, but basically the doctor said it wasn't related. But I did a double mastectomy without reconstruction in 2014 after being diagnosed and going through chemo and all the things. And I was basically, having a conversation with God. This is my own personal journey. I was just having a conversation with God. And I said, okay, Lord, I know there's more for me. What do you want me to do? Um, and I just, I walked through so much. I got married at 18 years old. I experienced domestic violence. I've been homeless before in my life. I've seen lots and lots of tragedy and lots of lows, what I would say. And so I don't really have a lot of highs to, really shout about. But it was those lows in my life that was like, okay, there has to be more. And I think because I'm pretty uh, passionate and I have a lot of perseverance and grit. I like to say that me and God had this conversation that I was going to go and make his name great in the world. And so then I started Redeemed Women. Um, and Redeemed Women literally started out as a dream. I was hosting 7 of my professional friends from many different walks of life, just people that I knew in my house for Bible study, in 2015. I did not subscribe to the Bible. I'm not the one to do a Bible study. I'm not called to be a teacher. None of these things. And one of my friends was like, I was married at the time, and my ex-husband is a truck driver, and so he was gone, and so I had the house. It was pretty much free because it was just me and him. And one of my friends asked me, she said, "Chocolate, well, can you host the Bible study in your home?" And I said, "Girl, I will let y'all host, but I'm not teaching nothing. Don't ask." Well, so a couple of months later, she comes back to me and she tells me that she's pregnant and that her and her husband are moving to Atlanta back with her family so they can have help with the upcoming baby. So me and the other 6 ladies are still here in my home trying to figure out what we're going to do. And we're a year and a half in, so we have a relationship. We're like solid. And the group got together unbeknownst to me to tell me that they picked me to continue leading the Bible study. And I was like, oh my God, no. So it did. I obliged. And I remember I took them to Brahms ice cream. We had an ice cream date for me to break up with them at the Bible study and tell them I am no longer doing the Bible study. So that went well. And then, fast forward, I'm still processing my breast cancer and all the things. And I'm back at work in transportation, which I really love. Because as you can see, I love to talk and I love people. And transportation is people all day long, all day long. Um, and but I'm sitting at that job and I'm just like, okay, well, I know there's more, but I don't really know how to get this going. And so I have a friend that's an attorney here in Dallas, Texas, and I just called him one day and I said, Doug, his name is Doug, and I'll just leave it at that. And so I said, Doug, I want to start a nonprofit, but I don't know what I'm doing. And he said, well, what you gonna call it? And I said, well, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. So he said, well, go back, think about what you're gonna call it, and call me and let me know what you're gonna call it. So this was like on a Monday or Tuesday. So Wednesday I called him and I said, okay, I dreamed about it. This is what I'm gonna call it, which is Redeemed Women. And so he said, okay, I got you. Don't worry about nothing else. He literally calls me back that night and tells me how he filed my paperwork to become a 501c3, sent it off that Friday. 2 weeks later, we were a full-fledged nonprofit, which does not happen. That does not happen that fast. It takes 6 months to 2 years on average. And so I knew that there was a plan in this. I knew that there was some things going on. So I just continued. To work the process doing a Bible study in my home. And then it blew up to something bigger.
An incredible journey I know that was just a snapshot because I read your book and I've spoken with you multiple times to know your journey, and I haven't even heard all of it.
Yeah.
Very, very quick snapshot of your incredible walk and your perseverance and your grit.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, one of the things that I think about Natalie is, what I like to say is I'm a girl from the hood. I grew up here in Dallas in the hood. I lived in Compton, California, and then I currently live in the hood now. I happen to be a homeowner in the hood, but I'm here. And what I like to say is for your viewers and your listeners is um determination and compassion behind anything that you want to do, you can make it happen. I knew in '08 that I wanted to start a nonprofit actually. I actually thought I was going to do a battered women's shelter in '08, but I ran from that for a long time because I did not think I was qualified or skilled or equipped enough to do any of these things. And so you think about '08 to 2017, the things that had to happen in my life, the maturity that had to happen, the friendship that had to happen, the relationships that I had to build, the classes that I had to take, just the continuing education, like all the things to get to 2017. And so here I am starting a business, with no business skills in this arena. Now, I've always been an entrepreneur since 23 because I worked in childcare for 10 years. I also opened a daycare, Tweety's Christian Academy. I did that for 5 years when I was married to my first husband. And then after going through divorce and domestic violence and all the things, I sold it back to the person that I actually bought it from. And so I've done many different things. I've always done like some kind of coaching or I had a cleaning service. I taught people how to bartend with my TABC liquor license. I mean, I've just done things. So I know about entrepreneurship. And so, but this was just a different, taking for me. And, I just, in an arena that I didn't know about, in a world where really Black women don't get a lot of street cred, especially where I come from. And so it's almost like I get a lot of the questions like, do I really know what I'm doing? And how smart am I? And so, I was thinking about somebody that asked me, how could they help me? And I told them that they could help me by sending me to school. And so they must have thought I was going to ask them for some currency or write a check here or do something. And I was like, listen, if you send me to school, if you teach me how to fish and not give me the fish, I don't have to keep coming back and forth to you. I can go and then be great in the world. So I had a friend that believed in me, her and her husband. They took out their checkbook and they wrote a check for me to go to SMU right here in Dallas, Texas. And I went to school for nonprofit management. I have a whole list of certifications up under my belt. But I did this because I was struggling with my people pleasing. And so for many of the people pleasers out there, you're not alone. Um, but I was really struggling with my people pleasing. I really felt like I wasn't equipped enough. I wasn't smart enough to kind of really be in this arena without some paper behind my back. And so I went to school to really learn, but to be able to show people that I knew what I was doing. Best thing that ever happened to me was going to classes for myself and learning the business. And so I just, one of the things that I wanted to encourage people is like, you hear the journey of really where I come from, like poverty and cancer and abuse and, a mother being on drugs my whole entire life, a dad raping me. These are other things that I write about in my book, Anointed. But to then, having a baby at 14 and having only one kid, as they say, as Webby say, one of my favorite rappers, one kid with one baby daddy. And so, you think about that and me being a college graduate and my daughter being a college graduate, and she's 26 now. She's not a mom. And so, and I had no examples of this, right? I had to be the one to set the tone for what I wanted to create with my own family, right? With me and my daughter and whoever's to come in my life. But this was no example. I didn't have any great women in my family going before me to do this. And so I had to really learn these things on my own. But that's where grit came in and perseverance and passion and really God's grace and his love for me because I made so many mistakes along the way. But his grace, oh my God, was so sufficient and kept me. So yeah, never been on drugs, never been incarcerated, um, never had a desire to have multiple children, never just never really seeking handouts. I was, I've been working since I was 15. I had my daughter when I was 14 in May, and I turned 15 in July, and I've been working since I was 15 years old. So, and I've never seen my mom work one day in my life, not one job. So, I think about these things, and I think about, just, where I am right now. And so my hope is that I can share my story to other women, which is why I started Redeemed Women, of the trials and tribulations, but the triumph and but also the victory. Because I believe that women need to see somebody that one looks like them, but and or that it's just a woman that have made it over some circumstances and not being bitter and angry and just really mad at the world right now, which I could be, but I'm not. Now it just depends on what it is.
Well, I admire you so much. I tell you that almost every time I see you. I admire your story, your perseverance. I feel like any one of the things in your life would have knocked me down, and you had all the things happen to you. Keep going.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a famous quote, to whom much is given, much is required, right? And so the only way to leave a legacy in the world is to keep going. If I die tomorrow, you'll be able to be at my funeral and tell people how I impacted your life and others, and the smile that I brought and the energy that I brought, and that's what I want to be remembered as. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I got my tissue box right here too, girl. So yeah.
Talk to you, Chocolate. So, what is next for you professionally and personally? We've heard a lot about your journey, actually a snippet of your
Mhm.
journey. What's next for you?
Well, that's good. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. I think what's next for me personally is I'm working on my second book now. And I've been working on it for a while, but I know that you are a family law and divorce attorney, and so I got divorced 2 years ago, so it kind of threw me off my game a little bit, and I had to regroup. So I had to put the book down, but I'm almost finished, and I'm trying to have that out early 2023. I'm not projecting the time, but I'm trying to have it out early 2023. And that book is it's not a sequel to the first book. It's just I'm writing 5 books and they all have different spins on them. But I talk about relationships and why they matter and the importance of relationships. So I'm excited about that personally. I think the other thing that I'm working on personally is dating in 2023, girl. Like these streets are hard. Like, I'm not for the streets like that, friend. I'm just not. So
Next here. So
well,
I every day. Chocolate is naturally beautiful. Like if you guys are just listening, you got to check out the video version of this. This woman is naturally beautiful, radiant smile, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So if you're not attracted to the outside, the inside is what we're kind of hearing about today.
mm,
Beautiful inside and out.
thank you,
Very smart.
thank you, thank you, thank you for plugging me, friend. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm working on dating in 2023, but I'm not. I've put aside the dating apps right now. I just kind of really want to be set up by friends or somebody that knows me, or in the grocery store running into somebody. I'm in the streets a lot, so it's my hope that somebody will see me and I'll talk to them or they'll talk to me. I'm not one of those kind of women that thinks that a guy has to be the one approaching me. If I like you, I'm gonna go up to you and I'm gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you a cocktail," or I'm gonna ask you, "Are you single?" That's the kind of woman that I am. And I think, and then just personally, I want to get more into podcasting myself, so I'm gonna start a podcast in 2023, and so I'm excited about that, and just work on my what I would say my mental health. I need to learn how to balance rest and work life. I'm doing good at it, but I can be better if I must say so myself. So those are my core things personally. So and then professionally, one of the things that I am most excited about with Redeemed Women is we've been in business 6 years in 2023. So getting ready to walk into our 6th year, the year to evolve and take things to the next level. So I'm scared shitless. But it's not about me and I don't have to carry it all in my own right. And I know that. And so we have a major, major goal of raising $1 million in 2023 for affordable housing. If anybody knows anything, because I know you have viewers or listeners from all over the world, Natalie. So, but if you are a person that knows anything about the housing market, especially in Dallas, I mean, our housing market is like crazy, especially in poverty-stricken areas. You have a lot of gentrification. You have a lot of people being displaced from home, and so which means you have a lot of women, leaving domestic violence situations or coming out of incarceration or leaving drug abuse and all the things, but they have nowhere to go. They cannot afford to live. Even the working class, low income woman cannot really afford to live on her own. So, I just have a heart to change the trajectory in the Black community, and be a Black woman doing it, right? And so really, really excited about that, professionally as well. And then I think, what I'm also excited about is just, the support. People actually care about women-led, Black women-led nonprofits. So I'm really excited about that professionally because I'm hoping that in 2023, people will continue to jump on the bandwagon of saying, how can I support, in person, virtually, and financially as well. We are 501(c)(3), so we need support in many different areas. So yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Some examples. I think that's super exciting. Affordable housing for people in Dallas. What are some ways people can support Redeemed Women on those avenues?
Yeah, so one of the things that I love to lead with is people can always pray for us if you're the praying type. If you're not, that's cool too. You can always cheer for us and root for us and, be in our camp, be ambassador for Redeemed Women is what I would love to say. If you're local, if you are in Dallas, you can come down and volunteer. You can bring your friends down to take what we call the Redeemed Women tour on our van, Vanna White. We call her Vanna White, the 12-passenger van. And then I take you on the tour to kind of open your eyes up to the neighborhood. This neighborhood in South Dallas is near the State Fair of Texas Fair Park for people that are local that know that. It is a poverty-stricken community, 86% Black women, single mothers, undereducated, low income. We are a food desert. We're a transportation desert. We're a laundromat desert. I mean, we're a desert of all the things, right? And so I love to take you on this tour because I want you to see that there's no grocery store on every corner. There's no laundromat. There's no Starbucks coffee. There's no gas stations. I mean, what I would say, Natalie, is the things that we all take for granted sometimes. And then if you're not a person that's local, but you say, hey, I'm virtual and I want to receive your newsletter, you can always hop on our website, redeemedwomen.org. I know you're going to make sure that people know about that, but it's www.redeemed, redeemedwomen.org, redeemedwomen.org. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can make a tax-deductible donation online. You can get our mailing address and send a check from all over the world. We take checks from all over the world. And then you can tell your friends about us. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Redeemed Women Dallas. Also Redeemed Women on Facebook. We also have a YouTube page that we're getting ready to brand a little bit more, but we do have some videos on there. But those are just some of the ways. If you have a corporation, if you have a company that loves to give back, I mean, we have major corporations that support us like Walmart and Target and Ulta Beauty. So we have a lot of banks that support us. So if you're in the banking industry, there are many, many different ways to use your time, your talent, and your treasure. And so what I would do is hop on that website, redeemedwomen.org. There's a comment section where you can leave an email. I check the emails. I make sure that, following up, you could call. But what I would love to say is, once you know, you have a responsibility to do. Yeah, I'm not saying that you do it at Redeemed Women. I am saying get involved somewhere, but I am saying doing it at Redeemed Women. That's my little key plug for Redeemed Women. But once you have it, Yeah, but once you know, you have a responsibility to do something, even if it's shared with another friend. Like, hey, this is what's going on with this amazing nonprofit trying to change lives of the women in poverty. Um, and and we've done that in the last 6 years. I mean, we sent women, young girls, to college, paid for a full ride scholarship. We've helped women. We wrote letters to the state to help women get out of incarceration. We walked with women going through divorce and trying to get their kids back. We've seen women come to Christ because they want to know more about God. We've seen women start businesses. I mean, out of their living rooms. I started redeeming women out of my living room. So of course I'm going to teach that motto, right? This is what you can do with your book collection or your crafting collection or whatever that is. Um, so those are just a few ways that people can get involved. But one of the things is I am the company mascot, and so I get so passionate about when you ask the question, Natalie, about how can people get involved, because I just believe in changing lives, and you also get to see the work being done on a day-to-day basis. And those states of the bigger organizations, they do some amazing work. But one of the things that I love to say about Redeemed Women, we are a relational organization first. We are not a transactional organization. We build relationships with our partners and friends. We don't call our clients at Redeemed Women. We say friends. Everybody's a friend. And so we are very relational with our partners and our friends. We want to know about you. We want to know how you're doing. We want to know how we can come alongside you. We don't want to tell you what to do. We want to listen to your needs. And we do that across the board. And that's the culture that I'm going to create as the company mascot. They get to make the decisions. We're going to create a culture of loving first, and our actions follow. So yeah,
Beautiful. And I love how you are very, very involved. You're not the CEO who's just sitting in there off
oh,
some high floor, not involved. Like you are involved with your friends. They're not
great.
clients. You're involved with the friends. You meet with all of them. You go and stand in line at the Social Security office that
Yeah.
the first 5 people in. Like you are truly in the work.
Yes. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I always think about is there was a time in my life where I needed some services, and I went to a bigger organization here in Dallas, but I won't plug them right now because I'm not going to use my platform to do that. But they literally they turned me away because they said that I didn't meet the criteria, and I was just struggling financially. Like and so I remember standing in the line. I had made an appointment, and I just remember standing in the line crying, just crying, bawling my eyes out. Here I am, a single mama. I had just lost my job when the recession hit in '08. I worked for a Presbyterian hospital in Dallas, and they laid off a big layoff, 2,500 people. And I was devastated. And I just, I needed some help. And I remember them, I was a number to them. It was very transactional, and they kicked me out the door. They said, "No, we can't help you," and kicked me out the door in a loving way. But um that I know what that's like. So because I walked through that experience myself, I cannot do that. I am hands on ground on the ground. I'm boots in. I am on the front lines. I'm advocating. I am being a voice because for one of the things that I am equipped with, I am equipped to use my voice. I don't have a lot of other skill sets. Well, maybe I do, but one, but but one of the skill sets that I do know that I have is to be a voice and an advocate instead of and advocate for people that sometimes don't get that kind of support from their family, friends, or other places that provide resources. And I have to make the hard decision sometimes too to say no. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's a loving no as well, but it's a no because of other reasons, right? It's not just that we just set out to say no. But yeah, like I'm all in, and I really believe in this, but I'm also praying for more help as well because there's some things I need to take off my plate so I can continue to move this mission forward.
You can't do it all. I mean,
No.
got to multiply yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about the legal needs of your friends who are your clients?
Yes.
Get confused
Yes.
of
Quiet.
friends who are at Redeemed Women.
Yeah, so, one of the things that I think about is many of the clients come with so many different legal needs now. Like, it almost breaks my heart. Like, I get teary-eyed thinking about it. I actually have to go to court, with somebody, in the new year. They just sent me their court documents, telling me that they have a probation violation and something with their kids' custody. And so I'm always in court advocating. Sometimes I write letters of recommendation. Sometimes I'm just there as moral support. Sometimes I'm there as a translator. I was in court with somebody that didn't need to have a translator. And I was like, listen, I'm not a translator. The woman was Latina and spoke no English. But I went and I got a translator for me to translate for them. So, but no one knows that, right?
Problem solver.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, I remember somebody in the court saying, "Who are you to them?" Like, and I'm like, "I'm their friend. I'm here for them." And so some of those ladies, they come in with, they have child custody cases. Some of them have legal needs like, divorce. Some of them have legal needs of just navigating the judicial system because it's kind of screwed up. Let's just call a spade a spade. Um, a lot of times, people go to court for fines and they don't know how to advocate for their fines. To say, hey, can I do community service? They don't know to ask these questions, Natalie. So sometimes it takes somebody like me that says, no, I know that this is what you're saying, but what else can we do for them? Um, so it's that, or sometimes it's housing needs. A lot of the women, they're getting evicted and they don't know their rights. They don't know that when they get an eviction letter, that they still have 31 days to stay there, or a time limit, right? Depends on where you are. But you don't always have to take your stuff right out. You can go to court and fight for it. A lot of times you get the eviction notice on the door. You don't know what your rights are as a teen, and so you get scared. You have your kids. You don't know where you gonna go. And so the legal needs just range, um, broadly. But what I will tell you is 100%, literally 100% of our clients are low income. They all come with legal needs. We have not one client that we serve that don't have a legal need. And that's pretty sad, but it's the reality. And some of it is, it's mindless stuff, Natalie. Some of it is they just don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
when you're living in poverty, it's very, very difficult and for most people almost impossible to deal with all the other things that are compounded by poverty.
Absolutely.
Relationship problems that often come in that situation. As you mentioned, the food desert, there's no HEB, there's no Whole Foods,
No.
nothing over by Redeemed Women, because I've been to the headquarters and the gas goes by, you really kind of don't want to stop at, which I know.
And what did I tell you? Don't you ever stop there again.
Stop in McKinney.
Yes. I don't go to the gas station here, so I'm not going to advise you to do something that I don't do. I would never send you there. I drive out. Luckily I have a car, but I drive out to go to the grocery store and go to the gas station. Yeah.
It's the ones that are like they're 100% dealing with poverty and didn't have legal needs because those unfortunately come with poverty. So
Yes.
what you're doing is super, super important. And I know that the people that you serve really deeply appreciate the love and the care and support and the advocacy from you. I know you wanted to be a lawyer and you're kind of like a street lawyer.
I am. I am. And thank you for remembering that. Yes, so I wanted to be a prosecuting attorney. So, the first time that I was raped, Natalie, I was 7 years old. My mom I was been a drug addict. She died 2 years ago, from drug overdose, heroin, and AIDS. And so I went into foster care early on. I was the only child for a while. My mother and my dad both now have 8 kids, but at the time I was my parents' only child in their first marriage. But living in Southern California, I was raped by a family member, and I reported him, and he got 20 years in prison. And it was, devastating to me, but it was also my mother was in prison, and so I didn't have anybody, so I went into foster care. But I was like, when I get out, I'm gonna put all the bad people in jail that do all the things. And so I used to want to be a prosecuting attorney, and then of course life happened. But what I'm grateful for now is, I'm so glad you brought this up. I actually do still get to do it. I don't have the law degree, but I sure have that street degree. I sure have that experience up under my belt. So I'm just as much as an attorney as you, Natalie. Just in a different way.
Sure, because a lot of the work is advocating for people, being their champion, helping them to think of creative solutions to problems, being able to communicate. You have all the skills. You just don't have the official law degree, and you can't like unauthorized practice law.
Right.
You do all of those things that to me makes an excellent attorney.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like to say is, I'm really the attorney's help, right? I'm that paralegal. I'm that street attorney. So by the time the client gets to you, or even when the client gets to you, and you give some directives to the client to say, hey, you need X, Y, and Z, that client is gonna come back to me and say, well, Miss Chocolate at Redeemed Women, this is what my attorney is telling me that I need, and that I can help them navigate those things.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
All of your many hats.
Don't remind me. And then people wonder why I'm crazy, and then I don't take phone calls after 7. I'm like, I'm on the phone all night. I'm tired.
You've been up since like 4 or 5 a.m. working.
Working. Yes, everybody knows that I get up early. I think I was up this morning about 4:15. So yeah.
I told you before at like 5. Like, I know you're up.
I don't like, yes. What you doing?
I wrote a little list of questions over here. I want to make sure I did not forget anything.
Okay.
I actually asked you all my questions. But what else did I not ask that you wanted to share about Redeemed Women, about yourself, your thoughts on anything?
I just think you did a great job on asking me all the questions. I think one of the things that I love about doing podcasts, especially doing your podcast, is we've been friends before now. And so that's what I love about our relationship, is we have a very genuine, authentic relationship. And I too have sent clients your way just because you are an attorney. And so I just appreciate the friendship that we have. That's first and foremost. And so I never want to, uh, uh, leave an environment without saying thank you. And I hope that you would have me back. And then the other thing is, I just really do hope that people will get involved with Redeemed Women some kind of way, by visiting our website, by supporting local, whether you live local or not. There's still some work to be done. And 2023 is great, and 6 years old, which means we're just in preschool, which means we still need help. And so what is that? What 6 years old? Is that first grade? Preschool? Elementary?
I actually have no clue.
Okay, we're in elementary though. We're in elementary.
So I don't know yet.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's right. I forget. But and so it's my hope that people will get involved with that. And then, since I'm shining like bright like a diamond, it's my hope that somebody will listen to this podcast or view this podcast and say, "Oh, I heard her say that she was single. Let me call her up. Let me figure out how to reach out to her." So personally, people can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Watson Chocolate, WATSON, and then chocolate, all one word. And so I post some amazing content on my personal page as well. I'm very thought provoking. I am very what I would like to say is encouraging. I try to make you think and be encouraged at the same time. And so you can hit me up on Watson Chocolate on Instagram and Facebook as well, and you can book me to speak. I'm a public speaker and I travel all around the world. Have a couple tour dates coming up in a couple of months, and so I'm really excited about that. And so I do all kind of events. I do corporate events. I do lunch and learns. I do Christian events. I'm really a jack of all trades. And so I don't turn down any jobs that pay me.
Since you were like 13, so
Right. Right. So yeah, Natalie, I appreciate you for having me on, and I hope the people were impacted by this podcast. And I hope some people, what I will say is I hope some people, listen to this and watch this and picked up some hope from this. Hope is one of my favorite words, but sometimes we lack that. Sometimes the struggle. I'm a crybaby by nature. I'm a Cancer. My zodiac sign is a Cancer. I know a lot of people don't believe in that, but anyway, my zodiac sign is a Cancer, which means I'm a crab. So I'm hard on the outside and soft on the inside. And so I cry a lot, and so I can be tough, but then I get in my dark place and I cry. So I said all that to say that I really have to lean into my hope. I really have to find my hope and pick it up from somewhere. So I'm an avid reader. I love books. I keep plenty of books around me to stimulate my mind. People perish for lack of knowledge. But then I also try to find some way to inspire myself, to feel my pain, to give me hope. So I hope that people listen and watch this and draw from hope from this, like, wow, she's been through this and she's still smiling. Wow, I heard her say this and she's still smiling. Wow, I heard her say she didn't have this and she's still going. And so that is my hope. I hope people will take away that, find some hope. And we have no time for uh what I would like to say is what's the word, distractions or vibe killers or mood shifters. Surround yourself with people who love you, who care about you, who have your best interest. Give them permission to call you out in love. Not everybody. Give your core. 5 is my favorite number. I love 5. 5 means it's the number for grace. And so it's my favorite number. But I have a top 5 that I have given permission to speak into my life. Good, bad, ugly, and different. I don't have to agree with them all the time, but I really do give them permission to hear what they're saying, because sometimes it does make sense. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to hear that right now. And that's okay. But get you some people, get you a top 3 to 5 and a solid team that you can trust, love, and respect, that won't air your dirty laundry, that won't post your stuff on social media, that if you break up and you're not friends no more, they're not gonna go and slander your name. These are and that's hard. It's hard work, but it takes a good 10 to 15, they say 5 to 15 years to really build solid friendships with people. And so that's what I would encourage people to do as well. So I know you asked me what would I want to leave people. These are some nuggets. These are some tips that I would tell people. This is what I want to leave you with. Finding some hope, surround yourself with good people, find some organizations like Redeemed Women to get involved with, understand that poverty sucks, and figure out a way to be involved.
That is just beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
So I hope you guys will follow Miss Aelicia Watson, affectionately known as Chocolate, at www.redeemwomen.org. Watson Chocolate, also on Instagram, Redeem Women on Instagram. Go to Google, get in your search bar, www.redeemwomen.org. You'll find out a lot of information about this wonderful organization. I'm also very honored to serve on the board of Redeem Women, and I will be on the board until someone kicks me off of the board.
And you're not getting kicked off, don't worry.
I will be there forever. And I just really love you. I think you're an awesome, incredible person. You inspire me personally and professionally and in all spheres of life. I look forward to reading your new book that is just around the corner.
Yeah.
I need to reread Anointed. When you sent me that book, I read it. I stayed up all night and read the book. It was just something you can't put down. So when you guys plan to read that book for us from the time you pick it up until you finish the book.
And I also do book signings too, Natalie. So I wanted to make sure that I plug that. We keep a big stock in our warehouse at our corporate office. And so anytime somebody wants to, maybe have me out and, have me speak or, do a book signing or something like that. Books are just $20 a copy. We also mail them all around the world. So people email Redeemed Women to find out how they can get a book. I'll autograph it for you and I'll ship it out for you. And yeah, just $20. So there you go. Yeah, super affordable. Yeah,
I just thought so. Sometimes I just have these thoughts pop
yeah.
up. Remember, you were telling me about how you want to be in a movie.
Yes, you remember that?
Let's talk about this movie. I know we're like wrapping up, but
Oh no, it's fine. You got me. You booked. You scheduled me in. So, so I always thank you for asking that. So one of the things that I always, because I love people. So I do many different podcasts now. Lee. I'm also on a radio show every Tuesday morning. So I love speaking, as you can see. But I really feel like I bring a lot of energy, to the screen and to plays. And I used to do the Black History speeches in high school and the oratorical contest and all the things. So I thought with this much trauma, somebody needs to know how you go through this much trauma and then overcome. So, I think about one of the I love Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and Oprah and just some of these people that have produced good content. I used to always want to be on the Ellen show. I'm so mad I did not make the Ellen DeGeneres show before she left. But anyway, and so I thought it would be great if somebody would cast this story, like, from poverty to punk, like whatever. I don't know what you want to call it. I do punks every now and then. I'm more of a tennis shoe girl though now. But I just, I'm an open book, and I really do truly desire to shine the light on how to make it out and have hope while you're going through the journey. And so yeah, so I just thought like, man, it would be so great if somebody would cast this idea of a show or a sitcom or a series or something. But I've always loved the big screen, and then that they also get to learn more about this chocolate. Who is this chocolate? Oh, and I'm glad you brought that up because I said I was going to tell people how I got the name chocolate. So let me interject that right here. And so I got the name chocolate. Well, for listeners that are not viewing this, I'm dark skinned with beautiful skin, might I add. And so and like you said, Natalie, I don't wear makeup every now and then, but it's not a thing of mine. But big pretty earrings are like jeans that I have on today. But
beautiful eyes, like the perfect facial balance. They have this scale. I think they said that Washington is handsome because of how his face is balanced. Your face very balanced and beautiful, you guys. Like no makeup, beautiful. Most of us won't leave the house. Out here just in her glory, radiant.
thank you, friend. Thank you. So yeah, so I was bullied as a kid. I told you chocolate is not my stripper name. I'm low key comedian too, if you hadn't noticed. Uh, so I was bullied as a kid. Both my parents, I have some three biracial siblings on my mom's side and two on my dad's side, but I'm the oldest and I'm the darkest skin complexion. Most of my siblings are like your color shade of brown, that caramel pretty brown, like you are. You're beautiful as well, or a little bit lighter with pretty long hair. That water wave hair. And so I was dark skinned with coarse hair, very natural coarse hair, because I used to wear naturals before my breast cancer. But I was always talked about as a kid in high school and school. Growing up, my family bullied me. I mean, just ugly. They would always say, "Look at that little chocolate baby," but in a derogatory way, very ugly. And so when I turned 17, I was just like, you know what? Screw y'all. I am chocolate. And I am Psalms 139, 13, and 14, beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made, and wonderful is his work. And he created me this way, and I'm gonna own every damn bit of it. And so I started owning chocolate. And at first I thought like, well, I don't know if I should say that because people was looking at me sideways and didn't really understand the story that went behind it. And I'm like, but it's a conversation starter. So when people say, so, why do they call you chocolate? I get to share the story behind it. And I get to shine the light on what started out as a negative turned into a positive. And now, I mean, if you Google me, that's just gonna come up.
Yep. Who is chocolate? Aelicia Watson.
Exactly. There she is. There she is. So yeah, thank you for bringing up the movie because, I wanna go buy chocolate in the movie. I always thought I would either play my own part or I really want Keke Palmer. That's who I want. Keke Palmer.
I love Viola
Oh,
Davis.
yeah.
Davis listens to this, I would just probably melt into my own puddle of chocolate. Viola Davis.
Oh my God, man, if I tell you Viola is the best inspiration ever, like, I love her. She is beautiful. She is strong. I mean, I look at some of her Instagram clips, and baby, I get my whole life from looking at her. I do. I'm telling you. So I really do hope somebody listens to this to have some connections somewhere they can plug this and say, I remember when Natalie brought this up on her podcast and Chocolate said, yes, this is still a desire of mine. And
Can't wait to see you on the big screen to see.
you're going to be right there with me because where I go, you go. That's Ruth and Naomi.
Thank you, thank you. I could talk to you for hours as we normally do.
Yes, we do. We do. I love it. I love it.
We'll wrap up and yeah, when you have your podcast, please invite me on. Another chance to talk with you and I'll have you back.
I will. I will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in today. And I really appreciate it. And I hope you found some hope with this session.
Yes. www.redeemwomen.org. Watson Chocolate. Redeem Women. Thank you so much.
Bye.